Hi, my name is Ashley Beal, and I'm a registered dietitian. Today we are going to make a banana nut oatmeal bake. I want to give a huge shout out to the recipe website that all of my clients know about now, and one that I've been using for most of my career for the inspiration for this recipe. The website is BudgetBytes.com, and I will link the recipe that they use below. She organizes the meals in a way that makes it really easy to search for something. She has really great visual representation of all of the meals through her pictures, and some of her meals even have step-by-step videos. So if you need more meal inspiration, definitely check out her website. If you saw my sweet potato oatmeal bake, you know that this is something that you can prepare in advance for a grab-and-go breakfast. But if it's something that you're going to be eating this morning, it does take about 45 minutes to bake. So I would recommend having some kind of snack while you wait. Now, before we get started, let's preheat our oven. For this recipe, we will need 3 ripe bananas. I have 2 here, and then I also have an additional one that I actually froze a couple of weeks ago because it was already starting to get a little ripe on me. So if you ever find yourself in that situation, you can always just cut them up into slices, put them in a freezer-friendly bag, and freeze them for a couple of weeks until you're ready to use them. We will also need some brown sugar, 2 large eggs, some salt and baking powder, a little bit of nutmeg, some ground cinnamon, vanilla extract, some milk, some walnuts or some nuts of your choice. Pecans would also make a great option if you have those on hand. And lastly, our old-fashioned rolled oats. These types of oats are the ones that I usually go for with the bake. I feel like if we were to use the instant oats, the baking would be a little bit different because it would absorb more of the liquid more quickly. So if you can find old-fashioned rolled oats, let's use those for today. For our equipment today, all you're going to need is a large mixing bowl. I'm also going to use a wooden spoon or spatula to mix all of my ingredients and to pour them into the baking dish. I also have a whisk here, which is really going to help with mashing the bananas as well as mixing all of my wet ingredients. And then a baking dish. Today I'm using a 9x12, so our cooking time and temperature will be based on that. To get started, I'm going to add my ripe bananas and my thawed out frozen banana to my bowl. And then I'll take my whisk and I'll just kind of mash them into smaller pieces. Now that our bananas are nice and mashed, we are going to add some brown sugar. You will need about 1/3 cup of packed brown sugar, 2 eggs, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a full teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then 1/8 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. I don't have 1/8 teaspoon, so I'm going to do about half of this 1/4 teaspoon, just like that. Depending on whether or not you like nutmeg, you could do more, you could do less. Now we will take our whisk and we will whisk all of the ingredients together. Once this is all combined, we will then stir in 2 cups of milk. And then stir that again. Now that all of our wet ingredients have been combined, we can do our dry ingredients. I'm going to start with my oats, 1 cup, 2 cups, and then 1/2 cup. Lastly, I'm gonna do a half a cup of my chopped walnuts. If you ended up getting whole walnuts, you can also chop them yourself. I personally like the taste of walnuts in my banana bread, so I'm actually gonna add a little bit more, which will also give us some more filling fat, protein, and fiber. Another half a cup. Now I'm going to take my spoon and mix all of these ingredients together until they're well combined. Make sure to break up any chunks of oats that are sticking together. Okay, now we will get our baking pan. To make the oatmeal easier to get out of the baking pan, I recommend either lining it with some parchment paper or greasing it with some oil or butter beforehand. For mine, I like to use oil spray. I just feel like it's easier to spread. And then you will pour your mixture into the pan. Using your spoon, get all of the other stuff out, and then spread so that way the oats are evenly placed in the pan. It should look like this. And then by now your oven should be preheated. So we will take this, we'll put it in the middle rack of our oven, and then we'll bake it for 45 minutes so that way the top is nice and golden brown. Don't forget to set those timers. It's really easy to get distracted in 45 minutes. While I wait, I'm just gonna clean up and put away some of my ingredients. Now all we have to do is wait. All right, here it is. I wish you could smell my kitchen right now. It smells so good. Hopefully you're making it along with me and you know what I'm talking about. Once you've given it a few minutes to cool off, we'll go ahead and cut it and then serve it. I usually cut mine into 6 servings to start. You may find that you need more than that, and then you can just chop another one in half or take 2 squares. But I like to pre-portion it so that way it's easy to grab when you're in more of a rush. Then you can take a spatula or a spoon and just kind of pop it out. Because we greased our pan, it should be really easy to take out of our baking dish. Now for the best part. Oh my gosh, it tastes just like banana bread. It's so delicious, so flavorful. And because it has the oats in it, it's going to be much more filling than if you were to just have some banana bread or a banana bread muffin. So good. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, thank you so much for cooking with me today, and I'll see you next time.